guys, how's it going? Welcome back. I'll try to be short and sweet and to the point, but don't count on it. So this is the Boss Tone Studio for the ME-80. Each one of their pedal boards has their own tone studio, including the Katana amps. Anyways, so in here we've got the programming area where you can make up your own patches. You also get to see what the actual pre-made patches are from Boss that came with your pedal board. Okay, and you can change them to any way you like. You can, add stuff to the patch or just totally redo it your own way type of thing, right? You can also switch patch positions. So let's say I like compressor crunch. Hot pickup in my neck. I love this. This is actually, the guitar I'm playing on is my Fender Strat, and I put some new pickups in it, and I actually put the hot pickup in the neck. So anyways, so I like that, right? So let's click right. Now, I want to put that in place of U1-1, which is the very first patch. All I have to do is click OK, boom, and that's where it's saved to. Now it still keeps this patch in P6-4 as compression crunch because I'm not deleting that patch. I'm just making a copy of it because I like it. So I'm putting it where I want it, where it's more accessible. The big thing here is when you're doing up these patches, make up a list of what they're called and where they're at, because the thing is you don't get to see Punk Drive Fusion Lead on the display on the ME-80 board. You're going to see that it's P6-4 or U1-3 or whatever, okay? You'll see those digits come up, but that's it. So you really need to write down a list of what the names of these are, including any of them that you name yourself. P8-4 is called looks like electric guitar to acoustic guitar. Now that's where the wah pedal can kick in, if I remember correctly. Or does it? No. Well, it doesn't kick in as the wah. So here's what they call it. See if we can get some extra noise out of this thing. Oh, when you're programming, you can't mess with the board. Well, that's interesting. That's pretty interesting. So electric guitar to acoustic guitar doesn't work off the wah on this one. Okay, so there's something we learned about this patch already. Synthy lead. That's a cool tone. Latin lead. I don't know why they would call that Latin lead, but anyways. A minor/C twin lead. Kind of cool for something, I guess. The defrutter. In case you're wondering what a defrutter is, it emulates a fretless guitar, which is actually kind of cool. It's got kind of a nice crunchy, I don't know how you'd really describe it, but it's a neat tone. I've used it a few times in worship songs and it actually works out quite well. But anyway, so there's where your patches are in the far left column. To access the patches, you have to click off of manual and go to memory, and then you can do whatever you want here with them. You know, so like I said, if you want to move a patch somewhere else, you're not moving the physical patch, you're making a copy. You know, so you're not deleting it. So if you want to, you know, only play with so many patches and still keep the rest of the list intact, then you can do that. But you overwrite whatever's here. So if you saved it in U1-1 and you put the defretter there, you overwrite their rock lead, which is this. But anyways, next thing is you cannot change the order up here. So you can't move your delay in front of your pedal effects or in front of your overdrive distortion area or vice versa. You're stuck with this sequence straight across. The only thing that changes here is activating and deactivating pedals. So it's kind of like a pass-through. So if a pedal is not active, the signal just goes straight through the pedal, right? Till the pedal has been activated. So that kind of sucks for the program. I would have liked to have the ability to shift them around, because I know in the Boss GT1000, which is Boss's newest flagship processor pedal, which is, by the way, awesome, you can switch things any way you see fit, you know. You can change so much so easily. It's just mental. So it's a really great thing. So why are we talking about the ME-80 then, Cav? Well, because a lot of people have the ME-80, including myself. And the ME-80 is still a very usable machine. And if you ever do get the GT1000, you can combine both boards together, which is really nice. Because I kind of thought ahead on that one. I talked to the wife about it too. It's like, you know, I should really keep the ME-80 anyways. Because then this way, let's say I want to have a preset, because I will be programming all my presets into the GT1000 for the Sunday service for all our songs that I'm going to use certain effects in, right? And I'm going to have them in order 1 to 5, and then, you know, bank 2, 1 to 5, and so on. But if I wanted to have an extra thing in there, as long as I remember to bring the ME-80 with me, I could add that little extra, you know. Or I could kick even more of a boost through the system with the ME-80 if I wanted to do something, you know, a little dramatic and, you know, out of the ordinary. I would have that ability to push that extra envelope because it wouldn't be programmed in the patch to do that, and you wouldn't need it until a certain part of the song anyways. So the ME-80 would come in handy for that, to add in that extra, you know, whatever, right? And it doesn't take long to go click, click, and then push the button, and, you know, because you've got time before a song starts, and if you think about it ahead of time, you can already have it there, and then just click the foot switch during the song on and off to where you need it or don't need it in the song. Now, you can change perimeters of stuff in here too. Right now this is on single hum, and it's turned off. So let's turn it on. So we're on single hum, but we're on this rock lead, right? So the boost that they're using, they're not. The drive that they're using is called drive. Now that's on the preamp section of the board. So I want to change that to clean. Okay, so now I've got a clean signal, single to hum, okay, which is single coil to humbucker. The wah is turned off because we're not using the wah and we don't have it programmed in there. But we could turn the wah on and it automatically will turn it on my board, and I can move the pedal and it goes wah wah wah. So that preset would automatically have the wah turned on, which is good because one of the problems that I ran into of not running presets on this board was if I wanted the wah effect, as soon as I moved the pedal down to full gas to activate the wah, it cranks the volume up and overrides the engineer at the soundboard. It overblasts the lead guitar player, which is our main lead player. I play the offset to him. And that is a little disruptive. At least if you program the wah into your patch, it doesn't override the volume pedal, which is good. So whatever volume levels for output to the sound system you have that are set, you're good to go, right? So that's kind of a nice benefit that way than going the other way. Which is another reason why I got the GT1000, was because I could program that wah in there and it doesn't override, and I'm not actually there is no pushing the pedal to the floor to activate or deactivate the wah on the GT1000. It's you program your own patches into it, which is a little different than the way this board works. This board works a little bit differently because it's like a bunch of strung up pedals and you just go and select each pedal and go do 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 do, or like I said, you program things in here. Pitch shift is turned off, but if we wanted it on, that's actually not bad. EQ. So on the EQ FX2, you can set up phaser, tremolo, boost, delay, chorus, and EQ. But say you wanted to have that as a boost instead. More volume, and it kind of thuds it a bit, like a little bit more boom, right? Especially in the bottom end. I want more drive. I want more level. Things get progressively louder because you're boosting more in, right? And the list goes on. And of course you've got reverb, right? So right now it's on for delay. Now it's off. Now you just have a room reverb that's set really low. Let's set it to the, let's set it to the hilt. Sounds like you're in a school gymnasium. So you get the idea here. And then when you're done all that junk, just click right, give it an area to save it in. Make sure you write that down with a pen and paper so you know. Give it a whatever name you want, and voila, hit right and you're done. So you can override the stuff. You can also download patches and install them into the board. Say you like ZZ Top Money for Nothing and that patch happens to be there. You could download that and install it into the board, give it a location where you want to save it to, and write down that location. Because like I said, you don't get to see, Money for Nothing come up on the display. It's only a 2-digit display, so basically 3, I guess. Well, you get U1, and then U2 and U3 and so on. So yeah, it's 2 digits. Yeah, it'd be 2 digits. So U1, U2, U3, U4, U5, U6, until you get all the way up to the P. They got the P section here. Then they got U7-1, U7-2, U7-3, and so on, right up to P9-4. So there's a boatload of presets that you can save in here. There's a boatload of stuff they've made, and some of them are actually really cool, and you'll recognize those tones from some songs too. They just don't list them by song, they just give it a name of some sort, like 90s alternative, for example. Volume. You got 80s metal. factory echo here. I like that better on a telly. I don't know. Clean rhythm. See, my hottest pickup is actually installed in the neck on my Strat. And it's kind of like where I wanted it, you know. But anyway, so you get the idea. Pretty easy program to deal with. Pretty easy to change stuff. Even, let's go to the phaser. Depth, resonance, rate, chorus, rate, depth, level, flanger, rate, depth, resonance, and so on. And it goes on. And there's tons of voices in here. Even the overtone is actually kind of neat. So anyways, voila. And you can also do this like in little teeny weeny increments, so you can really get precise with it by using the little up and down tabs to, you know, do stuff. So let's put the level up there at 55. Anyways, if you know how to play bass, you can get away with doing that. So overall, pretty good program, and works really well. I would have liked to see it where you could actually move your pedal areas around to change your tones with your patches. I mean, you can't do it on the board. I mean, they're there where they're there, and you dial stuff in manually. That's fine, but in the software, they could have allowed us to move and shift placements. You know, even with our FX area, I'd like to have two FXs together, or two FXs and the overdrive distortion area in a row, or something like that. You know, or maybe put my reverb right after the input of the guitar. So go guitar input, hit the reverb right away, slam into the overdrive distortion, get into the preamp section, you know, or maybe even move the preamp section where it belongs, right at the input, you know, that sort of thing. They don't allow for that kind of an order to take place. You get to manipulate tones, put stuff together. If it sounds good to you, fine. If it doesn't, keep screwing with it until you do get something that sounds great. Save your patch, away you go. So an update, I think, would definitely be in order from Boss, not only as a firmware thing, but also as a program update, to allow us to literally take our mouse and say, I want to take this and I want to put it here. And I want to take this and I want to put it over here. That's what I'd like to see. That would be practical, okay? But otherwise, the way it is, it's actually pretty good. It does have a built-in tuner that's actually fairly good, and you can change the pitch range up and down. So if you want to down tune or up tune, you can do that sort of thing. I wouldn't say it's the world's greatest tuner, but it's fairly accurate. You can get it pretty darn close to bang on, you know, plus or minus a bit. My Smart tuner actually works better than this tuner does, but you know, it's close enough for government work, as we say. And it gets the job done, and it'll get you in tune, so no big deal there. Now down in the bottom you got the tuner, you've got record, play, and so on. You can do a bunch of stuff in here. You got a setting area. Now in here it's about the system, knob operation. The value changes immediately as the knob is turned, factory setting. The value changes once the knob is turned past the position corresponding to the currently set value. So you can have it go either way. USB level is 9 for the input level. Adjust the level of audio input from the computer that will be mixed with the sound processed by the ME-80's effects. USB loop back. The input from the computer will not be output to the USB out, or the input from the computer will be output to USB out. USB dry record. The sound of the guitar is being output from the USB out will be processed by the ME-80 effects, or the sound of the guitar being output from the USB out will not be processed by the ME-80 effects. And then of course you get MIDI channels, output settings, well tuning, etc, etc, etc. Okay, they talk about switching banks and so on and so on, control operations. So you've got quite a bit of playability in here as well. You got main device, tells you that's an ME-80 that's active. View the owner's manual. You can download the owner's manual if you like. Tells you the version 1.1.2. So version 1.1.2 is the current version. If you are not current, then get current, type of thing. Of course, the language is English preferred, and they have English or Japanese, and so on. So you get the idea of what's in this thing and things that it can do. You can also play the interface direct into something like GarageBand or IK Media software, Cubase, you know, by just having the board plugged right into the computer directly. You don't even need a guitar amp, and you know, you can play it through your speakers or listen through headphones, kind of thing, that sort of thing, and also through the main machine. So it's very good, very flexible, works well. Like anything else, has its own limitations, you know, given by software and hardware, right? I think it's pretty good, you know, in the whole picture of things. I think it's pretty good. And it is very simple to adjust and use things. Like, it's not a big learning curve. It's not like you're trying to learn all the ins and outs of Windows or a Mac OS. This is so simple to run. I found even with the GT1000, I learned how to use that program, well, most of it actually, in not even a couple of hours. I was really comfortable with it. And it was great. So, and that's pretty good for such a sophisticated board. You know, it's crazy. But by having experience with the Katana already and the ME-80, it does help learning, you know, the newer guitar processor boards out of Boss and their equipment that's run by software. So, you know, no big deal. So anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll do what I can to answer them. Otherwise, that's what I got for you folks, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Do check out my video on the demo of the ME-80 board if you haven't seen it already. Feel free to browse the rest of my channel of over 2,000 plus videos, and we'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.